Ah, Rory Stewart and J.D. Vance fighting in the captain's tower while calypso singers laugh at them and fishermen hold flowers. It's definitely a middleweight bout. You got to say, full disclosure, I'm not a Christian, and contrary to smuggeries that I'm a child of Christian culture, nevertheless, I put it to you, I've never behaved like a Christian. I have never invaded, displaced the conquered, nor demanded they adopt my silly faith. So, that's gone. Rory runs to the book, opens it, finds the stuff Jesus is said to have said as evidence of what Christianity is, if only, clever that. Vance runs to the same book and finds evidence of what Christianity is in fact. I don't like or respect either man, mostly around issues like this. They imagine the rest of us consult the book and organize our moral lives around what it says, or really what such organizers construe of what is said to be said. It is a religion for the anal retentive after all. The excuse du jour is that, well, those awful people weren't really Christians, as I said, clever that, but reading Pope Urban II exhorting the Goombas at Claremont in 1095 sounds like the Christian id to me, likely the mumbo-jumbo in the Biden-Harris brain too that has not changed since Deuteronomy. Perhaps there is a lesson in not consulting books written and rewritten to excuse and glorify behavior you swear is not there. Wait for the 1619 Project. An imam told me one time that female genital mutilation was tribal practice of peoples who converted to Islam, not Islam. Again, clever that. For Christians, perhaps this might be the excuse for the Inquisitions, for the genocides of the Americas, so Rory can say, well, no, you see, what Jesus meant was. I guess the hideous Ferdinand and Isabella couldn't read, or their Catholic advisor read only Vance's version. Today, there is a great cry about Trump's announcement that the US is going to colonize Gaza. The only issue I have with this page torn from the Bible is that Guatemala might look at Southern California and say, that place has great potential, we're going to move in. And y'all would just scream. You see, Christianity does not endow certain Christians with the same Christianity as their own version. Clever that. But before I go, what was the outcome Biden envisaged? Pray tell. Democrats, do tell me. Or did he not think that far into the future? Or was this too a collateral of that faith? To be fair, Rory, Jesus was father to Urban too. You should know that. He did a fair bit of condemning to hellfire those who took the wrong road. It is the nature of the books, believe or die, all of them, all the time. You can only get there through me, said Jesus. The worm is in the root. Good old pagan wisdom passed down, not written. Some things need not be written or read. Have you read? No, I haven't. Was it good? Oh, yeah. It says this, she says that, she says this, he says that. Okay, what do you say? I say what she said. Speaking of which, I just had a long listen to the 1619 Project. The event before the publication is a live thing on YouTube. It is, as I thought, quite marvelous, with the expected dander up of lots of commenters. Since the invasion of the two American continents, getting on for 500 years ago, driven as it was from the get-go by Messianic Catholics, the poor white descendants, and the rich ones too, still needing pity, they are poor, have invented and then compounded upon invention to turn one of the greatest crimes against humanity into a fairy story of heroes. The racism that gripped that civilization grips it still. Is in fact evidence that without racist supremacy, the culture would not exist at all. Makes it possible for the pride-seeking among my Euro brethren to accept. Nothing in it is even controversial if one is a sober appraiser of history and not some bawling baby with no identity but a fantasy. And of course, it is a Christian legacy, where evidence of the worst of crimes is everywhere upon the earth, and still they insist upon supremacy. Breathtaking. I guess the genocide of the Great Flood, look it up, it is what it is, exonerated the subsequent genocides. The only problem with 1619 is that assuming pride is a prerequisite to life, there is none here for the white man. There is dignity, a much more life-sustaining quality than pride, more adult too, dignity to be found in saying, yes, we did, but hold not thy breath. They are not capable. Arguing that slavery is anti-capitalist, to take but one lame point, is to understand what capitalism eventually did to the peasant class. They changed their address from the field to the slum. The emancipation, quote, was only slightly more. It took a labor movement to actually free the non-owning class. And yes, when capitalism got rolling, slaves became more expensive than working stiffs. So the great heroes decided out of the goodness of their hearts to change. I know this. I lived cheek by jowl with the free cane cutters of Trinidad in the 1960s. The squawks of protest are very, very funny. They amount to this: I can't be conceited, you see. I'm perfect.